In this tutorial, I will revisit the DPS triplet, expand on the concepts for touch panel ports, and then demonstrate the process of assigning ports and channel codes in TP Design. You already know that the DPS triplet is the device addressing format for Netlink's control systems, in the same vein that IP addresses follow their own format. That means that any device defined in Netlinks must at least conform to the Netlink's device port system standard. Netlink's controllers use the port assignments to identify the physical ports integrated into the controller. However, AMX touch panels are not equipped with control ports since they do not physically connect up directly to the controlled devices. Therefore, the port assignment for a touch panel can and is used for another very useful purpose. That is, the port assignment can now be used on the touch panel to divide associated control buttons into their specific device or even function groups, like keypad control keys, menu navigation keys, etc. For example, I've defined the TP or base UI as before, i.e. 10.0.0.1.1.0. But then I've also added the device identifiers for the individual DVD and STB control pages. Next, assign UI channel codes to the buttons on the DVD control page. Follow the SNAPI protocol. Each button gets the same port assignment, but a unique channel code. For example, the play button is assigned channel code 1 on port 2. So now if we add, let's say, an STB or similar device to our control system, it too may require a play button, stop button, and so on. Because we're using SNAPI principles, we go ahead and assign the same channel codes. These are the same channel code assignments as those for the DVD control buttons. So to differentiate between DVD control button channel assignments and the same channel numbers assigned to the other device control pages, the port number is used. For example, port 2 is assigned to all control buttons on the DVD control page, port 3 to all control buttons on the STB page, and so on. With the theory squared away, let's go ahead and assign the channel codes to the buttons in TP Design. Let's go ahead and open our TP Design TP5 file from the workspace in Netlink Studio. In the workspace, under the Pages folder tree, we need to create pop-up pages for the DVD player and the set-top box that we wish to control. We'll do that one at a time. I'll start with the DVD player. Just as we did in the relay exercise, let's right-click on the pop-up pages folder in the workspace menu and select Add Pop-up Page. I'm going to name my page DVD Player. Select Standard, position left 0, top 62, width 1024, height 450. Go to the States tab and select Color Name. Set this to Transparent. I'm going to need 7 buttons: Play, Stop, Pause, Next, Previous, Scan Forward, and Scan Reverse. Use the Button Draw tool to draw a button on your pop-up page. Under the General tab, the button type should be General. I'm going to set my position left 223, top 114, size width 173, height 93. Of course, your buttons may be different in size and different in position. That's fine. Under the Programming tab, set the feedback to Channel so that we can light up these buttons from our code using feedback statements. Select a suitable font and font size. Input the text Play, or use an icon if you prefer. I'll choose AMX Bold with a font size of 28. Copy and paste this button. Change the text in the second button to read Stop. Continue copying and pasting buttons until you have all 7. Make sure the buttons are labeled properly. Play, stop, pause, next, previous, scan forward, scan reverse. Finally, align the buttons on the screen however you wish. Use Power Assign to assign channel ports and codes to your buttons. F8 can be used to activate the Power Assign tool. Use channel port 2 and let's assign the appropriate channel code based on the Snappy. If you forgot, look back at the Tascam IR file, or look in the Snappy's include file. So, play equals 1, stop equals 2, pause equals 3, next 4, previous 5, scan forward 6, and scan reverse 7. I'll now create a button on the main page to open this pop-up page. I'll call this button DVD Player. I'll now set the button to pop up our page. With the button selected, go over to the Button Properties window and select the Events tab. On the button release, we want to add an event. Look under the Add Page Flip drop-down. One of the options is Show Pop-up. Select it and choose which pop-up to show from the drop-down menu. The name of this pop-up page is DVD Player. Select OK when you are finished. Repeat the process and build another pop-up page for all the STB control buttons on an STB control page. This time, set the channel port assignments on all the STB control buttons to 3. I suggest that you pause this tutorial and finish up building your touch panel pages before moving on. Okay, we're done with TP Design. Back to Netlink Studio. First, we need to define 2 more touch panel devices for the DVD and STP pages that we just added to our touch panel. The first one is DVTP_DVD. Remember, we assigned all those transport buttons on port 2. Therefore, the DPS is 10.0.0.1.2.0. Next, we assigned the STB transports on port 3. The device definition looks like this: DVTP_STB equals 10.0.0.1.3.0. Okay, we defined the touch panel page devices. Now we have to assign the devices for the DVD player and the STB. DV-DVD equals 5001.11.0 for the DVD player's IR emitter connected to the IR port 1 on the DVX, and DV STB equals 5001.12.0 for the STB's IR emitter connected to IR port 2. That's it for UI port and code assignments. Before we move on, let's get some more practice writing button events. Let's create a couple of simple button events for both the DVD and STB, play and stop buttons. First, write button event. Open square brackets. The device is going to be DVTP_DVD, followed by a comma and then the channel. In this case, it will be the play command, which is channel 1. Sure, we could write a number 1 in here, but we just learned about Snappy. Therefore, instead of using the number 1, let's simply write play. Then, on the next line, open and close the curly braces, and inside those, type in push followed by a colon. Once again, open and close the curly braces. The way this reads is, a button event occurs on DVTP_DVD, which is port 2 on the touch panel. What button event occurs? Well, channel 1 or play. In other words, the play button on the DVD page of the touch panel was pushed. So, what do you want to do when the button is pressed? Well, now we send the IR command to the DVD player. The command we are going to use is to. The device we are controlling is the DV/DVD. And the command we want to send is the play command. Notice how we use the same snappy constant play for both the button press channel as well as the command channel that gets sent out to the DVD player. Just remember, the name just represents the channel number. In this case, we made the channel code in the touch panel number 1, and the play command in the IR file is also number 1. Let's compile our code to make sure we have no errors. Now to do the stop button. I am simply going to copy this entire button event and paste it directly underneath. All I need to do now is change the words play to stop. I'll recompile and make sure I'm still without errors. Remember, we also wanted to do the same exact thing for the STB. Therefore, let's copy both button events and paste them directly underneath. This time, instead of changing the channels, I'm going to change the devices. In both button events, I'll change the DVTP_DVD to DVTP_STB. And in the to statement, I'll change the DV/DVD to DV/STB. Recompile one last time to make sure we didn't make any mistakes. There's one last thing to do before this will work. That is, to map the IR files. We only downloaded and added the Tascam file in the previous lesson. Don't worry about the STB file. Right-click on the Tascam IR file and select Device Mapping. Now we just need to map that IR file to the DV/DVD device and select Map. You can map the same IR file to multiple devices. If you had 6 Tascam DVD players in your project, you could map all 6 to the same IR file. When you're finished mapping, select OK. And that's it. If you loaded this code along with the IR file into your Netlink controller, you would have the ability to press the play and stop buttons on both the DVD and STB pages on the touch panel and actually control the devices. Now, that sure is a lot of work to just control 4 buttons on the touch panel. There's got to be an easier way. Stay tuned, we'll get there.